Okay, good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Today's shir is Leila Nishmat, Chaim ben Rochel, Tzidov ben Chaim Pesach, Yitzchak ben Sarah, Devorah bas Yitzchak, Avram ben Mordechai David, Reuven ben Shmuel, Shana bas Lachanan, Yeshua ben Shmuel, Reuven ben Shmuel, Chana Golda bas Yisrael, Chaim ben Fega, Yaakov ben Yitzchak, Mordechai Netzach ben Rivka, Rachel bas Yosef, Eliezer ben Yaakov, Chaim ben Gedalia Zamalei ben Moshe, Chaim Eliyahu ben Yosef Moshe, Amichai ben Yaakov, Gedalia ben Tzvi Ruvain, and Leila Nishmat, Leza Wolf ben Tzvi Hersh, Leila Nishmatam. This is a special week. There's Parshat Parah. We read 3 parshas. You also get 3 kugels. You eat Parshat Vayakel, Pekudei, and you also read Parshat Parah. And I have in front of me a picture of the red cow. Not a joke. First red cow in 2,000 years, Ray. If you go, I'm going to pass it down. This is the red cow. Well, unfortunately, the hair's turned black, but this is what it looked like a few short years ago in the Midwest. When you look at the Haftorah, in Yecheskel 36, you're reading mamish like current events today. You know, what page would that be in the blue book? Parshat Parah, the Haftorah. It's in the back of the book, in the art scroll, I don't know, 12 something I think it is. Ezekiel 36. Vayidavar Hashem Elai Lema Ben Adam.
Which page?
It's on page 1216.
Thank you.
It's Parshat Parah, the special reading, the Haftorah of Ezekiel 36. And he's prophesizing about the Messianic era. And he says, Ben Adam, Beis Yisrael Yoshmal Admatam, V'yitamu Osam B'darkam, Ketumas Hanida. The Jewish people have been contaminated like a nida. Now the Parsha speaks, Parah Duma speaks about what? Tumas Meis. Right, Avam Tumas Meis. Tumas Meis, that a mikvah alone doesn't help. There you need what? Red cow ashes. But Yecheskel speaks about Tumas Nida, which is much more lenient than Tumas Meis, because Tumas Nida, you don't need Parah Duma ashes. Right? The woman goes to the mikvah, and then she reunites with your husband. So Kodesh Baruch Hu says that your sins have made you like a tumas nida, not a tumas meis. A tumas nida, that's only temporary. You don't need red cow ashes, right? After the woman counts 7 clean days, she's reunited with her husband. So Kodesh Baruch Hu says the same thing with us, that our separation is like a nida, and then we'll become lovey-dovey again. Like when a woman comes home from the mikvah, it's like a honeymoon all over again, right? So God says the honeymoon will continue, the Bayis Shlishi will be built, and the honeymoon will continue. So therefore it's called Tumas Nida. Our defilement is like Tumas Nida. But when I want to get what?
He throws the water, he sprinkles the water, they call the water Nida water.
Zurakti Alecha Mayim Tahirim. Mayim Tahirim. We're not up to there yet. But look at it's amazing if you look at Ezekiel 36, pasuk 20. Vayovei al hagoyim asher bo'u sham v'echal Hashem kotshi be'emelhem am Hashem eleh ma'artza yatzou. The very fact that Jews live among the goyim, that's called a chil Hashem. Yiddish Avraham, because the goyim say am Hashem eleh. You're the people of God. What are you doing in Babylon, Long Island? You belong in Eretz Yisrael. So the very fact that Jewish people live in the Chutz La'aretz constitutes, according to Ezekiel, what? Achil Hashem. So God says in verse 21, Ve'echmo el Hashem kotshi. Again, I will have Rachmanos on my holy name, Asher chilalu beis Yisrael bagoyim asher bo'u shama. Again, he repeats it. God shall have the compassion on my own name, which is desecrated by the very fact that Jews live among the nations, is a chil Hashem. Therefore, verse 22, Lechein emor lebeis Yisrael, kol yomer Hashem Elokim, lo lemanchem ani oseh beis Yisrael. I'm not going to redeem you for your sake, right? Ki yim l'shem kotshi, again. I'm concerned about my holy name, says Hashem, asher chilaltem bagoyim. You have desecrated my holy name among the nations. How? Again, asher ba'atem sham. The very fact that you live among goyim is a chil Hashem. And therefore God says, I'm going to what? Look out for my good name and I'll redeem you. I will redeem you. Pasuk of Dalel, Lekachti eschem min hagoyim, I will take you among the nations. V'kibatzti eschem mikol harotzos, v'vesi eschem el admaschem, and I will bring you back to your own land. Amazing, the Mahari Kara, the Rabbi Abramson, on this puzzle, Kachta eschem min ha'amim, says Bal Korcham. It is, the Jews won't want to leave Babylon, Long Island, or Borough Park, or Lakewood. So this prophecy, I'm going to read this Shabbos. Ezekiel 36:24, L'kachti eschem min hagoyim, and I'll bring you back, says the Mari Kara, one of the Rishonim on this Bal Korcham. What does that mean? Against their will, they won't want to leave Shmutz La'aretz. But God said, I'm going to bring you back, Bal Korcham, against your will even.
He's going to do it.
Huh? Miyad Ramah. It's pretty interesting. That's what he says. Now,
don't they say this parsha has to be Rice was the hear this one?
I'm not up to that. I'm up to the Haftorah now. We're going to get to the parsha soon, and why it's a deraisa. We're going to get to that. But first, let's finish the Haftorah. I mean, Mamish living where I live in Pisgat Zev, this Haftorah comes alive for me. It's just amazing. Verbasius Prio 8, verse 30. Nufas Hasodeh. I will increase the fruit trees and the produce of the land. Where it was barren and desolate, now Eretz Yisrael is what? He says clearly, look at verse 35, Yehuda. V'omru. And they said, Ha'aretz halozu hanshama. This land which was desolate, hoita kegan Eden, is now becoming what? A Garden of Eden.
Does this refer to Mobileye too?
Right? Oh, it's a Gan Eden.
Sold for $15 billion. Mobileye sold for $15 billion.
But Eretz Yisrael, right? That's what they used to call the green line, right? Because where we lived was green, and where the peace partners lived was a barren desert. So the prophet is speaking that what? That we have turned the Eretz Yisrael back into a Gan Eden, the Horim, Charevos, and destroyed cities. We have what? Rebuilt and fortified. And planted vineyards again. So this Haftorah, Mamish Ray, is speaking about what? Where I live in Pisgat Zev, before the 6-day war, Pisgat Zev looked like a moonscape. And after we liberated it, right, now it's Mamish a Gan Eden. So the Haftorah is speaking Mamish to current events, that when the time comes, God will schlep us out of Chutz La'aretz, Bal Korcham, even against our will. But let's look at the at Pashas Chukas now. That's Bamidbar 19, verse 1, Avi. You have that Bamidbar 19:1. Now it's very strange. At Pashas Chukas, the Shulchan Aruch said, Bamidbar 19, Pasuk 1, Zois Chukas HaTorah. The Shulchan Aruch in Siman Tov Reish Pei Hey says that reading Pashas Parah is a doraita. Yiddish, Avram?
Page 839.
Reading Pashas Parah is a doraita. He doesn't say why. And it's very strange why reading Pashas Zohar, I can know. Remember what Amalek did to you. But it doesn't say remember what the red cow did to you. Why does the Shulchan Aruch and Siman Tov Reish Pei Hey, why does he rule that reading Pashas Parah is a doraita? He doesn't explain why. So I want to give an explanation based on the Ramban. The Ramban tells us, if you look at the ceremony of the red cow, it reinforces our belief in Tchiyat HaMeitim. It says, look at the ceremony of the red cow. If you take a look at Bamidbar 19, verse 17, what do you do with the red cow? V'lokhu latome meyafar shreifas achatos v'nosar olav mayim chayim. Bamidbar 19:17 says, you're supposed to turn the red cow, you're supposed to burn it and turn it into ashes and dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. What does that remind you of? Death. Mayim chayim. You're supposed to mix those ashes with what? With mayim chayim. What does mayim chayim mean? No, Mayim, I'm a text man. What does Mayim Chayim mean?
Live water, living water.
Do you ever meet dead water? So the Ramban says that Mayim is a symbol of life. The fetus is contained in a sack of water. Mayim is a symbol of life. So Afar, that represents death. Ashes, dust, death. Mayim, Chayim, represents life. So when a person is born and then he dies and he turns into ashes and dust, maybe that's the end. But no, what are you supposed to do with the Afar and the Mayim Chayim? Balokach Ezov, the Toval Bamayim. You're supposed to take a certain type of grass and dip it into this mixture and spritz on the person. That, says the Ramban, there's a pasuk in Tehillim Ayin Bet, V'yotzitzu ke'eshef ha'oretz. By Tchiyat HaMesim, the dead will sprout like grass out of the earth. That's Psalm 72. So here you have, says the Ramban, the Parah Duma is a semel for Tchiyat HaMetim. The Afar represents what? Death. The Mayim Chayim represents life. So it looks like life, and a person dies, he turns into dust and ashes, it's over. But then the Ezov, that's Psalm 72, that when the time comes, the dead will sprout like what? Like Ezov. So Ezov was the symbol of what? Of Tchiyat HaMeitim. So therefore, according to this Ramban, he says, therefore, when you go to a cemetery, the minhag is, you'll say, when you go to a cemetery, what do?
Take grass.
You take some grass, right? And you put some dirt and you wash your hands. You see, you're acting out the Parah Duma. Parah Duma was what? Grass. You spritz with the grass and you mix the water with dirt. So you put dirt on the kever and then you wash your hands when you leave. So you're acting out the Parah Duma symbolically, which is what? That death is not final. Rabbi Sprecher explains that Tumas Meis is what? You come in contact with a dead person. That depression, that's Tumah. Before, a person was a living human being, and now he's just a dead piece of meat. That's terrible depression. That's Tumas Meis. Because a person thinks that death is final, it's forever. So what's the antidote for Tumas Meis? The Parah Duma. The ceremony of Parah Duma proves that death is not final. It's temporary. So that relieves the Tumat Meis. You get spritzed with the red cow ashes, all of a sudden, was it a hocus pocus? All of a sudden you're not Tumas Meis anymore. So Rabbi Sprecher explains that Tumas Meis, that the finality of death. But the symbol of Parah Duma reinforces my belief in Tchiyat HaMeitim. That death is not final, it's only a temporary stage, and therefore the ceremony of Parah Duma removes the Tumas Meis, which is what? The depression that death is final, it's not final. So with this explanation, I want to explain why the Shulchan Aruch says in Siman Tov Reish Pei Hey that Parshas Parah is a D'oraita. Because we know Avram, Animam Be'emunah Shalema. Tchiyat HaMeisim is one of the Animamins, right? Which one is it? The last one. Meitim Yechayel Barov Chazdo, right? We know Achron Chaviv. The last of the Animamins is the belief in the resurrection of the dead. Maimonides said, if you don't believe that, you are what? You are a kofir. How do you say that in English? A kofir. A heretic. So if it's such an important essential of Judaism, you would think it'd be somewhere in the Torah. Where is the belief of Tchiyat HaMeisim in the Torah? Last time I checked, I wasn't here. So my chidush is, by reading Parshas Parah, you reinforce your belief in Tchiyat HaMeitim. According to Nachmanides, it reminds me of Tchiyat HaMeisim, and therefore, that's why the Mechaber says that reading Parshas Parah is what? Is a D'oraita. Because that reinforces my belief in what? In Tchiyat HaMeitim, that death is only temporary. So that's how the Parah Duma removes the stigma of death. It's a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel, right? When the Jews said Nasav and Nishma, the Medrash says we went back to Adam Koydem Achet. Death was banished. We went back to Adam before the sin. So for 40 days we were like Adam Arishon. We became immortal. When we sinned with the Chet HaEgel, we brought back death again. So let the mother come and fix. What's the mother of a calf? A cow, right? A heifer. The red cow. I see the pictures going around there. You see the picture of it? I had a picture of a red cow. Did you see it? No? Where is it? Somewhere here.
Why is it on the third day?
So you have to get spritzed on the third and the seventh day.
And why on the third day?
Because the Torah said so. It's a chok. We don't know
How
why.
about the fact that life and death is created on the third day in the creation? Life is created on the third day, so if you have life, you have to have death.
Okay, so why do you get spritzed on the third and the seventh day? I don't know. But why, Gershom, which is worse defilement? Touching a dead pig or touching a dead human?
Same thing.
No. Touching a dead human is much worse defilement than touching a dead pig. Avram, isn't that bizarre? You touch a dead pig, you're only tummy till nightfall, you don't need paradum, you go to the mikveh. Touching a dead human being is the worst type of tumah. Avram, you hear my question? You tumah 7 days, and without the red cow, you tumah forever. Madua v'lama. Sometimes you hear the question carefully, the answer is in the question. How is a dead body called in Hebrew? Look at Bamidbar 19:18, Avi. The halal, a dead body in Hebrew is called a halal. Bamidbar 19:18, why is a dead body called a halal? The English word halal comes from the Hebrew halal, Avram. What's the holiest thing in the whole universe besides God? Avram, what?
Man.
A living human being. You know that. Let's say there's a fire on Shabbos, and there's 100 Sefer Torahs about to be burned. And there's one guy who's 99 years old, and he can only live maybe a minute more. Who do you say first? The 100 Sefer Torahs, or that one person who can only live a minute? What? So the holiest thing in this world, besides God, is a living human being. Atzelem Elohim, Elechelik Elahai Mimal.
What if you go to war?
One second. Where was I? Because a living human being is the holiest thing in the world besides God, therefore a dead human being is the worst type of tumah. And therefore a dead human being is called a halal, the English word halal. He had a godly soul in him, and now he's what? Hollow, he's halal. We know nature abhors a vacuum. Is that the right word? Nature abhors a vacuum. Where there's great Kiddusha, and now that Kiddusha is gone, there's a tremendous halal. So what? The forces of Tumah will what? Will rush in. Since a living person is the holiest thing, so when that godly soul is gone, Abi, there's a tremendous vacuum. So the forces of Tumah will what? Will rush in. Therefore, because a living person is the holiest Kodesh Kadoshim, so therefore once he's dead, the Tumah is so what? The Tumah is so severe. The Tumah is so severe. And therefore a dead person in Hebrew, and even a modern Hebrew, but in biblical Hebrew, this week's Parsha is called what? A halal, because when you're looking at the dead body, you're looking at an empty, hollow shell. The Tzelem Elohim, the godly soul is gone. So therefore, the forces of Tumah, they rush in to what? To fill the vacuum. So here the Torah speaks about the Paraduma and the ceremony of the Paraduma, and that gets rid of the stigma of death. So therefore, this Shabbos we should all make an effort, even ladies, to go and hear Parshat Parah, because when you hear Parshat Parah, you are reaffirming your belief in what? In an imam in Emunah Shalema, in what? In the midst of what? To believe in Tchiyat HaMeitim, and the ceremony, the Paraduma, is what? It speaks to that. So that's the third parsha we read. But before that, we read Vayakel Pekudei. Right? Before that, we read Vayakel Pekudei. Somehow they all have to tie in. We begin reading Shemos 35. Shemos 35, we begin reading, verse 1. All about what? The Mishkan. Again about the Mishkan.
5:17.
Avi, we read it already. Why repeat verbatim the same thing over and over? The Torah is so economical when it comes to letters and words. Why do you have the same account repeated verbatim, Avram? Isn't that strange? Strange, right? Well, let's talk. Was the Mishkan plan A or plan B? Did the Mishkan come before the Chet HaEgel or after the Chet HaEgel? Yes. Shall I repeat the question?
After.
Did the Mishkan come before the Chet HaEgel or after the Chet HaEgel? Yes.
Both of them.
Both are true. Therefore, the Torah repeats the account twice. The first time, Truma Tetzaveh comes what? Before the Chet HaEgel. Because the Mishkan, according to Ramban, was plan A. It's a model of the universe. We'll talk about that. It's a model of the universe. It's a portable Har Sinai. So that's plan A. So therefore it's repeated. It's stated before the Chet HaEgel. Truma Tetzaveh. Then you have Parshat Kisisa, Chet HaEgel. Parshat Pekudei. Once the Jews sinned with the Chet HaEgel, the Mishkan took on an additional explanation. Now it's not just a model of the universe. Now it's not just what? A portable Har Sinai, as the Ramban says. Now it's like Rashi and the Sforno. Now it's also what? A tikkun for what? For the Chet HaEgel. So isn't that beautiful? Therefore it's repeated twice. The first time before the Chet HaEgel, plan A, a portable Har Sinai, a model of the universe. Then you have the Chet HaEgel, and now it's repeated again because now it takes on an additional meaning. Now it's just not a portable Har Sinai, it's not just a model of the universe, but now it also is a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. We sinned with making a golden statue. Now God says, take gold and make golden kruvim and do it my way. But that was from the get-go. But now it has another meaning. Now it's also a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. Now it's also a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. And this explains Rashi in Parshat Parah, very strange. First Rashi says that the Parah Aduma is a chok. We don't know the reason for it. And then Rashi says, oh, by the way, he quotes a Moshe Darshan, he gives a step-by-step blow detail how the Parah Aduma is the tikkun for what? For the Egel. Let the mother come and clean up the doo-doo of the cow, of the calf, right? What did Moshe do with the Egel? He burned it. He ground it up, made ashes. What did he do with the Parah Aduma? You burn it, you make ashes out of it. So Rashi, first you tell me it's a chok. And then you tell me it's a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. Make up your mind, the same idea. Parah Aduma plan A was a chok. It's God's wisdom. Once we sinned with the Egel, now it also becomes a tikkun and kapara for the Chet HaEgel. Just like the Mishkan. That's how much God loves us. Divine wisdom, the Mishkan, the Parah Aduma, divine wisdom. Once we sinned, we gave it another meaning. That's how much God loves us. Now we take His divine wisdom, which was a chok, and now we apply it to our shortcomings. We sinned with gold, take gold and do it my way. We sinned with an Egel, Avi. So take the mother, not the mad cow. The red cow is the mother of what? Of the calf. Right? So the Torah repeats, and before the Torah repeats the account of the Mishkan, the Torah introduces what? Again, Shabbat. Lo tavaru eish b'chol moshvotechem b'yom HaShabbat. Don't light a fire in all of your dwellings on the day of Shabbat. Now the word b'yom seems to be superfluous. We know, Maddie, there's no extra words in the Torah. If you look at Shemos 35, verse 3, Shemos 35, verse 3. It could have said, Lo tavaru eish b'chol moshvotechem b'Shabbat. Who said that? Beautiful, Rabbi Abramson. The word yom seems to be, how do you say Yehuda, superfluous or superfluous?
Maybe it could mean that you can light it on Shabbos night.
You hear the question, Yosef, on the table? Lo tavaru eish b'chol moshvotechem b'Shabbat. The word yom seems to be redundant or superfluous. No, says Chazal. This is what is refuting the Karaites. The Karaites sat in a cold, dark room on Shabbos. They ate cold food. They sat in a cold, black, dark room. Because they said you can't have no fire, even though you lit it before, it can't be used on Shabbos. Chazal said, no, it says, B'yom HaShabbat. Only on Shabbos day you can't light the flame. But if you lit it before, light my fire, if you lit it before, Gershom, fine. Isn't that amazing? So the extra word Yom is to what? Is to refute the Karaites. So therefore you're supposed to have hot food on Shabbos. Ramah says if you don't have hot food on Shabbos, perhaps you're a closet Karaite. Right? How do you know that? You're supposed to have hot food on Shabbos. But imagine that. The Karaites, they sat in a cold, dark room on Shabbos. What is the message, Gershon? Beli Torah Shabbal Peh, you sit in darkness. If you don't have the oral Torah like the Karaites, Ray, you're sitting in darkness. Remember that rock group, Black Sabbath? Remember that? I'm dating myself. They had a Black Sabbath, Avram. The Karaites have a Black Sabbath. They sat in a cold, dark room, eating cold food in darkness. Because without the oral Torah, they're rak choshech. Powerful message. Pretty interesting. So again, the Torah says, Ku me'itchem truma al Hashem. Shemos 35:5. Ku me'itchem truma al Hashem. How does English translate that, Yosef? Exodus 35:5. 35:5. Anybody?
Take for yourselves a portion for Hashem.
What do you mean take for yourself? You should say give for yourself. God knows Hebrew. Should have said Tnu me'itchem truma. Give a gift. Doesn't say that, Yosef. It says Chu me'itchem truma. Take for yourself a gift to God. What do you mean take? It should say give. You hear the question on the table? She said, right? Remember Jack Benny used to say, if I can't take it with me, I'm not going. That's what he said. But he went anyway. The Torah is saying, the Yichu, Chu me'itchem truma al Hashem. If you want to take it with you, give a gift to Hashem. Give tzedakah. What you give to others, you take with you. So you can't take it with you. Therefore, it doesn't say Tanu, give a gift to Hashem. It says what? Take. Because what you give for tzedakah, for Hashem, for a holy cause, you are taking it with you. You can't take it with you. When you give tzedakah, you're taking it with you. The Ramban says something incredible. You're sitting down. He says, Al derech ha'emet, Avraham. When he says Al derech ha'emet, you're getting Kabbalistic here. I'm over 40, we can talk. Ramban says on this pasuk, Avram, Al derech ha'emet. In Parshas Truma, it says the yikchu li truma. He should have said the yitnu li truma. It doesn't comment here, but he comments over there. The yikchu li, he should say the yitnu li, same thing. What do you mean take for me? The yikchu li truma. Says the Ramban, when you give tzedakah, you are taking Kaviyachal Hashem with you.
What does it mean?
You're taking God with you. Olam ha'emes, you'll have God with you. And therefore, the Yikchu li Truma, says the Ramban, when you give tzedakah, you take Hashem Kaviyachal with you, the Shekhinah for eternity. The Yikchu li, you're taking me with you. Incredible Ramban, Al derech emet. Isn't that amazing? Now the Mishkan was made, look at the word, Shemot 35:7. V'oros elim adamim, v'oros tchashim. I translate Yosef, Exodus 35:7. You have that? No? What does it say there?
Red-dyed ram skins, akash skins, and cashew wood.
Skins again. Why repeat skins? The Mishkan was made out of skins and again skins. Said Lubavitcher Rebbe, when you look at the Mishkan made out of skins, you remember God is not dwelling under the skin of the Mishkan. I've got you under my skin. Looking at the Mishkan made out of skin reminds me, God dwells under my skin. The Mishkan is just what? A conduit that draws the Shekhinah underneath my skin. Incredible idea over here. Unbelievable idea over here. The next parsha is Parshat Pekudei. It's a double header. It's Parshat Pekudei. So remember we said that the Mishkan is also plan A. The Mishkan is a model of the universe. Svarno, others say it's a model of the universe. Whatever you have in the universe, you have a mini in the Mishkan. The Mizbach Adama, Gershom, is supposed to make an altar of earth. What does that represent? The earth. The Kruvim represent what? God's creation of angels. The Kior, the wash basin, represents what? The oceans. It's a model of the world. The Shulchan represents the food chain. The Menorah represents the sun. Here comes the sun. The Ktoret represents the delicious flowers, the odors of flowers. It's just amazing that the Torah uses similar language when God created the world, the similar language when we created the Mishkan. And this is like, why study the Mishkan? We're not going to have a Mishkan again. Why go over it again and again? Torah's GPS, you'll say, right? By the Mishkan, it says what? Vayichal. And by Bereshit, it also said the word Vayichal. God finished creating the universe, and we finished creating the Mishkan. Sefer Bereshit begins with God creating a world, a home for us, right? Sefer Shemos ends with us creating a home for God. Isn't that incredible? Sefer Bereshit begins, God created a home for us, the world. So we return to favor Avram. How? Shemos ends with us creating what? A home for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'osel li migdash v'shechanti b'tocham. God says, build for me a migdash so I can dwell amongst you. Wow. God said, return. If I built you a home in Bereshit, what's God's home? The world? So God says, what, Ray? Return the favor. Build me a home. Build me a home. Where's God's home? Where's in the building? V'shechanti b'tocham. Underneath my skin. Wow. How much God loves us. Now, it's just amazing that the last pasuk in the book, Exodus 40:38. You have that, Yosef? Exodus 40, verse 38. How the book ends. Book ends. Ki anan Hashem ala mishkan yomam ve'esh tiyeh layla leinu kol beit Yisrael b'chol maseihem. There was a cloud of God on the Mishkan during the day, and a pillar of fire at night in the eyes of all Israel. B'chol maseihem. How do you translate that, Yehuda? B'chol maseihem? In all of their journeys. Remember that song? I'm a traveling man. We're all traveling, Yosef. We're all journeying the long and winding road. Wow. All of us. Avram, onwards and upwards. The book ends, B'chol Ma'aseihem. Life is a journey. And if you're not moving forward, you automatically what, Elisheva? Moving backwards. Therefore, Yaakov was shown a ladder in the dream. Nobody takes a coffee break on a ladder, do they? If you're not climbing up, you automatically ray what? Climbing down. So, B'chol Ma'aseihem. Wow, what a puzzle. You got to keep on moving. Remember that keep on trucking? No. Because if you stop, if you're not progressing, Rabbi Yosef said, you're automatically regressing. It's amazing. A person can never be on what? There's no, when it comes to spiritual matters, there's no status quo. They talk about status quo here, right? But now when it comes to spiritual matters, Yehuda, right? There is no status quo, right? Pretty interesting. Now, the Torah is very canonical when it comes to words, Yehuda. Here, there's one word that's repeated over and over again. You look at Exodus 39, verse 42, 43. Kol asher tziva Hashem et Moshe kein osu. They did exactly what God commanded. In verse 43, 39, 43, again, they did what Hashem said, they did. Over and over again, it says that they did exactly what Hashem told them. I get the picture. They did what Hashem said. Why keep repeating Kashetziv Hashem Kein Osu? Osu. Ot Pam Va'ot Pam. How many times is it repeated? Yudah. Kein Osu, you counting? Once, they did. The next pasuk Osu twice. And again Kein Osu 3 times. Madua V'lama. So it says Yor Chaim HaKadosh again, plan B, that is a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. The Egel, the Jews did on their own. They think they know better than God. So the Egel consisted of 3 sins. Machshava, first they thought about it. Dibur, then they spoke about it. And Maisa, then they did it. So now, in the 3 areas where they sinned, Machshava, Dibur, and Maisa, also, they repaired the Machshava, they repaired the Dibur, and they repaired what? The Maisa. So step by step, this was a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. The Egel God didn't command, the Kruvim he did command. Why is the Egel Avodah Zarah? This is a statue, a golden calf. Aren't golden cherubs also a statue? What's the difference? What's a statue is a statue. If God does not command it, it's idolatry, Avi. When God commands it, it's a mitzvah. He decides, not me. The golden calf, he didn't command, it's idolatry. The golden lovebirds, Kruvim, he commanded, therefore it's a mitzvah. And it's not just a mitzvah, the Kruvim are called you the Kodesh Kadoshim. It's amazing. Holy of holy statues. Don't try this at home. Right? Only in Kodesh HaKadoshim. A guy makes golden statues in a shul, it's Avodah Zarah. Only in the Mishkan, only in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, in the temple, that you have those golden statues. Anywhere else, it's Avodah Zarah. Why? What's the difference? Because that God commanded, and this he did not command. Statue is a statue. But if he doesn't command it, that same statue becomes what? An idol. Now, fasten your seatbelts, Elisheva, for this one. Take a look. This is an amazing Ramban over here. Exodus 39, 42. If you just came to hear this, Avram, now hear this. Now hear this. K'chol asher tziva Hashem et Moshe kein osu b'nei Yisrael es kolo avodah. See the English, how does the English translate that, Yehuda? Exodus 39, 42.
Like everything that Hashem commanded, so did the children of Israel perform all the way.
Deleh ha'avodah.
Perform all the way.
Wait, but before it says the word malacha. Now there are no synonyms in Hebrew, Ray. How do you say work in Hebrew? Or malacha in biblical Hebrew? So the Ramban wonders. It says the Jewish people take a look at Mem Gimel. There, it's how do they translate verse 43? Vayar Moshe's kol hamalacha.
There they use the word work. Moses saw the entire work, and behold, they have done it as Hashem had commanded. So they had done. And Moses
So they translate avodah what as labor?
and here's versus labor, then there's work.
Mixed up. I mean, they're not, what does it mean? Avram, why in Mem Bet is it called avodah, and in Mem Gimel it's called malacha? The biblical word for work is malacha. Ask any Ulpan teacher. Yosef, ask your Ulpan teacher. The biblical word for work, ain't gonna work on Saturday, is malacha. The Ramban wonders why the Torah writes right above that in verse 42 the word avodah. All the children of Israel did the avodah. What does that word avodah remind you of? The temple service. Beautiful. It reminds you of the temple, the avodah of the Kohanim in the Beis Hamikdash in the Mishkan. Says the Ramban something incredible. Whatever a Jew does in life, he can turn that into avodah. He can turn that into avodah ray. I think it's called virtual Kohen, says the Ramban. Whatever you do in life, why was I born to be what? A carpenter or a garbage collector? Why couldn't I be a big kahuna? Why can't I be a chief rabbi? I have to, do mundane labor? Says the Ramban, no. Every work that you do, no matter how mundane it is, if you do it l'shem shamayim and you do it honestly, in God's eyes it's an avodah. It's like you're serving Him in the Beis Hamikdash. Tremendous Ramban.
Jewish garbage.
What?
Jewish garbage.
Right? You know the famous story with Rabbi Levine. There was a Jewish garbage collector in the street. So he says, Rabbi, I envy you. Rabbi Levine said to the Jewish garbage collector, I envy you. He says, Rebbe, what are you making fun of me? I'm a garbage collector. You're the biggest rabbi in the world. He says, Chas v'shalom, I'm making fun of you. I envy you. What would Moshe Rabbeinu give to be in your shoes? What would the Vilna Gaon give, or the Baal Shem Tov, to be in your shoes? To clean the streets of God's palace. Eizes chus you have. That's an avodah. Powerful message in life. Born on the wrong side of the track, never got the proper education, so you have to have a mundane job. No, says the Ramban. You can turn any work that you do, you can make it an avodah, like in the Beis Hamikdash. If you do it honestly, and you do it l'shem shamayim, to support your family, to give tzedakah, that becomes an avodah. What a powerful message. And therefore it uses the word avodah and not the word what? Malacha.
Is the Ramban there?
The Ramban on that pasuk on Shemot 39:42. I'm embellishing what he says, but that's his idea. But I'm fleshing it in. Okay, and therefore use the word avodah and not malacha. Now the word ketoret, Yehuda. I know you like how do you say Rosh Tevot in English?
Acronym.
Rosh Tevot acronym. Thank you. Abbreviation. What's the difference between an acronym and an abbreviation?
Abbreviation is a shorter word. You just, like Mr. MR.
I know, but what's the difference between an acronym and an abbreviation?
Mr. is an abbreviation. MR is an abbreviation. An acronym is everything with the first letter.
NATO.
FBI, CIA,
NATO.
IRS.
That's not, those are not abbreviations.
Okay, so let's take a look at Shemos 40, Avram 26. Now looking in, it's for talk for Shabbos table. Shemot 40, verse 27. Vayakta olav ketoret. The highest service in the Beis Hamikdash was the ketoret. Exodus 40, verse 27, Yosef. How do they translate that? Vayakta olav ketoret.
Upon it he called incense because
He burned incense, samim.
go up in smoke as Hashem commanded Moshe.
Okay, so according to Kabbalah, ketoret is the highest service. More than any service in the Beis Hamikdash to ketoret. Why? So, Pi Kabbalah, the word ketoret, Avram, is an acronym. You looking in? The word kuf stands for kedusha. The word tet stands for tahara. The word resh stands for what? Rachamim. And the word taf stands for tikva. Should I repeat that?
The letters.
The letters. Ketoret, that's the word. The word ketoret, the kuf stands for kedusha. The tet stands for tahara. The resh stands for rachamim. And the taf stands for what? Tikva or tshuva. Because without hope, there's no tshuva. Holiness, purity, compassion, and what's the climax? Tikva. If a person doesn't have any hope, that's the Yetzer Hara's trap. You're hopeless. You're a hopeless case. Might as well stay where? In the pool room. There's no hope for you. If a person wants Kiddusha, Tahara, Raklam, he has to have Tikva. He has to have hope that he can do better. And he will do better. If at first you don't succeed, try again. But the Yetzer Hara says, forget about it, you're hopeless case. Don't fall for it. So that's what the Ketoret is out to what? To teach me. The Ketoret. That what? That a Jew must have tikva. You can't get Kiddusha. Look at the word Ketoret. You can't get Kiddusha. You can't get Tahara if you have no hope. So you sin, you fall. The Pasuk in Mishlei. Shevel Yipal Tzadik. The Tzadik will fall 7 times. Why is he called a Tzadik? Because he keeps getting up. Keeps getting up. Everybody falls. What do you do after the fall? The Rasha gives up hope. Stays in the mud. The tzaddik gets up and he has hope. Therefore he's a tzaddik. Everybody falls. But what you do after you fall will determine whether you're called a tzaddik or a rasha. You know what I'm saying? Yes?
What's the difference between tikva and emunah?
What's it mean, tikva and emunah? Tikva means hope. No, I think you mean, what do you mean between emunah and bitachon? That's a better question. Tikva means hope. Emunah means what? Faith. What does bitachon mean? Trust. How do they differ? I'm glad you asked me. Emunah means faith. Bitachon means trust. What's the difference, Gershom? Emunah means I believe, I have faith, whatever happens to me, it's all Him. Even the bad stuff, it all comes from Him. That's a high level. But bitachon is higher. Emunah, I believe, emunah shalema, whatever happens, right? The person doesn't stub his toe or have a bad hair day unless he ordained it, even if it's bad. It all comes from Him. Bitachon is a higher level. I trust that what I think is bad, hakol tova. That's higher. I trust Him. Avram, bitachon. Yes, it looks bad now. Hakol letova. Even though it's not good now, letova. I trust Him. I have bitachon that even though it's bad now, I trust Him that ultimately, somehow, hakol letova. Jew has to have both, but bitachon is the higher level. Remember those bumper stickers? 10 chiyuch hakol letova, no? 10 chiyuch hakol letova. That's bitachon, right? Somehow it's all for the best, right? Rabbi Kiva, gamzu letova, doesn't say it's good now. Gamzu letova. Eventually be good, even though I don't see it right away. So that's what next Thursday is my son's yortzeit. So I would like to get a minyan if I can. Sunday we have a regular class. Why Moshe Rabbeinu's MIA in the Haggadah? Why Moshe Rabbeinu's MIA in the Haggadah? Missing in action. That's Sunday. But next Thursday, Evelyn is my son's yortzeit. Bo Bayom. We're having a kiddush over here at 2:30, and I appreciate if people would come and make the minyan next Thursday at 2:30 in honor of my son's 50th Yotzad. I can't believe it's 5 years already. He's only 10 years old, and hope, So later Nishmat Oshma Chaim and Ephraim, and any questions, comments? So I have 3 kugels this Shabbos. Vayakel, Pekudei, Parshat Parah. It's also Shabbos Mevarchim. Shabbos Mevarchim, Arvam. And Shabbos Chazak. Shabbos Chazak. We finished the book of Shemot. Chazak, Chazak, V'nis Chazek, Chazak. Shabbos Mevarchim is Chodesh Nisan. When is Chodesh Nisan? Next Shabbat. Wow. The month of miracles, Nisan. Right, Avi?
And no more time.
Right, no more Tachnum, right? So Avi, please make a note. Next Thursday, my son's Yotzai. And we have a class on Sunday. Moshe Rabbeinu, why is he missing in action in the Haggadah? Very strange. Like he's censored out of the Haggadah. Makara.